Start the morning right with a cup of Vinyl Tap. Nothing beats the refreshing taste of a hot, warm mug of Vinyl Tap. Enjoy your podcast in liquid form today. Vinyl Tap. Enjoy responsibly.
2, 1.
Vinyl Tap.
I'm Jason.
I'm Tim.
I'm Habibi.
I'm Habibi.
I'm Habibi.
And this year we listened to a lot of albums.
33.
33 albums.
We totally didn't take a few goes to record this to work out how many albums we listened to. And
We're maths wizards.
Maths wizards. Yeah, you should have seen Jason go before.
More importantly, we're music wizards.
Yeah, and I feel like I really shared a lot of music with you guys, and
We all shared the same
you know,
amount
but
of music.
I shared the best amount of music with you guys.
Okay, we're not getting into it
Already
yet.
starting.
Okay,
Oh my
okay,
god.
So
sorry.
we'll roll through the accolades
Yeah.
first. We're here to summarize our 2020 and talk about all the things we learnt and listened to this year.
And unlearned.
Right? Yeah.
Let's just go top down, shall we?
Easiest one to jump into.
First topic, best album.
The best album of the year.
Beebs, what are your thoughts?
This was actually really hard. No, doing this whole summary thing was very difficult.
Yeah,
I've
we've done a lot.
I've got 3 contenders here.
Wow.
Top down.
Top down.
Top down.
Go
of
for it.
Important to least important in those contenders.
Or just the order
Okay.
you've written them.
Thundercat.
Yeah.
And then Pseudo Mind Hive.
Yeah.
And then Days of Future Past.
Yeah, wow.
Wow, nice.
Yep, those were my sort
We
of...
started strong and then just faded.
Yeah.
I was thinking that as well. I thought, wow, we really did open with a bunch of bangers. Pseudo Mind Hive and Moody Blues were great albums to open on.
Yeah.
No offense.
Yeah.
I also
Two
had
songs.
Days of Future Past and It Is What It Is on my list. I also had The Perils of Time Travel. I thought that was a fucking brilliant album. Songs About Jane, of course, is a classic.
Yeah.
I also had Folklore. I think that's the best like pop album we've listened to this year.
Yeah.
I had Popcorn because of something we'll talk about
A lot
later.
in there.
Right,
Yeah, I
interesting.
had so many great things to focus on this year. And I also wrote down Appeal to Reason, but I'm not so sure about that.
Right. See, I loved all the ones you've just mentioned, but I only kind of put 2 as like a top 2.
Mm-hmm.
And for me personally, Perils of Time Travel is at the top just because even outside of this, for me, it was just my album of
Yeah.
the year.
Having lived with him, it was his album of the year.
Unequivocally. But then I really also want to put a vote towards Thundercat, It Is What It Is, because that was so...
I think we're settled then.
Because we've all
Yeah.
said Thundercat. Yeah, I
So
think...
you don't need to thank me. You
Thank
need to
Paris.
thank Paris,
Yeah,
my sister,
for bringing
picking
the
that.
best
yeah.
album of the year. And it was this year, wasn't it?
It was this year. And it
There
also
you
was
go.
released in 2020.
Yeah, right.
Which is kind of cool.
And I think that makes Days of Future Past a like runner-up because we both said it.
Perils of Time Travel
Did you say
as
Perils
well.
of Time?
Oh, I didn't say Perils
No,
of
but
Time
you,
Travel.
we
Ah,
both
true.
did. So a couple of second places
Yep.
there, but we're here for the best album, not the second
And
place
it
album.
It Is What It Is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look at
There you
that.
go.
Congratulations.
I mean, it's an
Thundercat.
absolute ripper. I need to listen to it again. It's so good.
I know that Andrew hated it though. I guess.
If he was here,
If he
he
was
would
here,
be
yeah.
vetoing very hard.
Yeah. I mean, I can sort of get like, I'm just going to put words in his mouth because he's not here to defend himself. He basically, it was like super technical and kind of academic and...
It was
the-
very referential to music he was not involved in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can understand that would exclude him, but not being him, I felt very included.
Yeah.
So it was a great album.
I had a great time listening to it. Yeah.
For very different reasons to what we did as well.
Yeah.
You
I was so enthralled in the technicalities of
the
it.
video
Yeah.
game sounds. And
Yeah.
we just loved
The
the
intertextuality of the whole thing, it was fucking brilliant.
jazz stuff that was there.
Yeah, oh my god.
Cool.
Bring it
Category the second. Best album art.
Am
Tim, let's start with Tim.
Yeah, let's go
I have a
Tim.
bunch of contenders here as well. I opened with From Elsewhere because I love that. The Pseudo Mind Hive guys really knocked it out there.
Those colours. Purple and orange.
I also wrote down
Yeah.
Velvet Underground. That's an iconic album art right there.
That is.
Songs About Jane, also wonderful. Sound Awake, I really like the cover of, but nothing for me defeats In the Court of the Crimson King. I think that's just
Yeah.
untouched. I also should have written Days of Future Past. That's a great cover too.
It is a very pretty colour.
I had my first vote for Court of Crimson King because it's just so striking.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. Just, screaming
There it
face,
is.
And
bright
it also
colours.
captures the atmosphere of what you're hearing
Yeah.
pretty
Totally.
well as well.
Yeah.
It's brilliant art.
I don't know how I feel about Velvet Underground. Is that
Really?
well? Is that an album artwork?
It is, but I see
like
the point
it
you're trying
is,
to make.
but is it not just art that's then been
repurposed?
repurposed?
Oh yeah.
I mean, Andy, but the thing is, they didn't take that as like, we're gonna homage Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol
He was
was
very
very
much-
involved in the
Okay,
album.
okay, yeah,
So I see what you're saying, but I think it's slightly different because he had say and input into that.
Also, the whole idea of it being a smelly sticker, like that's just brilliant, and pretty
Yeah.
pretty innovative technology for the time. If I'm honest, like I don't think anyone had done
I
that.
feel like we should bring that back. Really. I mean,
Let's do it.
CD sales are down. Let's just bring them back by making them scratch and sniff.
Yeah, or licking tastes.
That's not gonna fly in 2020.
No, it's
Oh,
not.
it might. What if you like plug your USB into it and then it's got like a
A
taste-
gas that just like sprays COVID in your face. Yeah.
Jason, what other album arts did you have?
My top one was songs about Jane. I've just always loved that.
album art? Really?
Yeah.
Really?
It's such
You're wrong.
I don't know. I find it very aesthetically pleasing.
Okay,
I think I'm also a sucker for red. It's predominantly red.
I love that art as well, and you're wrong. In the Court of the Crimson King
it's my second, but
you're wrong.
yeah.
yes.
So I think overall it probably wins. But yeah, it's my second. I also really want to mention the Thank You Scientist one.
Yeah,
I love the kind of like very simple colors and simple imagery that's like just easy to see and know what it is. Carnival as well. Can't
Yeah.
go past that. And yeah, the Pseudo Mind Dive I had as well.
I also want to shout out 11 Paranoias.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Because
Especially the physical album
the physical
cover.
album cover is
Yeah.
really cool because like it opened into. Is it
It's
the
got the
sleeve
plastic
comes off
sleeve
and
that's
then-
like brightly coloured
Yeah.
over the actual white and black cardboard part
I
of
thought
the
that was
album.
really really cool.
Should do a stained glass window kind of CD cover.
Potentially.
Anyway,
So I think the fact that all three of us have said King Crimson, it's getting the vote,
Yep.
and I don't think anyone should be upset at that.
no, it's brilliant work. Very well done.
Theme category, the third, worst album
Of the year.
of the year. I'm gonna start this one off and say I have one contender, and I don't think I need to go past it, and that's just Mandolin Serenade.
He's gonna hang himself up on that
Yeah,
cross.
Yeah.
I don't think anything like as a listening experience so fresh, but I think it's completely different form of construction and therefore isn't as bad as Mandolin Serenade.
Yeah.
I'm getting anxiety just hearing
about
the
it.
names. I'm also gonna throw Cats into the ring there because that was garbage. Also, I hated listening to Super Unnatural.
Yeah, I know
It's
you did. I
not
was
on the
waiting
same
for-
level as Mandolin Serenade, and you're right, that is it. Unless Beebs has something
Well,
revolutionary.
no, look, I mean, the So Fresh experience, and the same thing with the Disney Extreme PlayStation 2. Like, they're compilations, but that Disney Extreme one was kind of. I did find it a bit difficult to get through, to be honest. Not a lot
It
of those
wasn't
songs were
great,
bangers
yeah.
that I connected with.
Yeah,
It just reminded me how much I hated pop punk.
But on the other hand,
but again, I think,
Mandolin Serenade.
But
and
Yeah,
also like
yeah, yeah,
compilations are easier to be that little bit more forgiving with as well, as opposed to a artist
Especially
constructed
for, like,
album.
it's the soundtrack to a video game. Like,
So,
Yeah.
okay, so something I want to throw out there is that Mandolin Serenade, although it was terrible musically, did have good production comparatively with
To 11 Paranoias.
true.
Super Unnatural.
Yes.
Even like the thing about Super Unnatural that gets me is that the mastered version I thought was so much more terrible than
Than
the
raw
obvious
versions.
just room mic recording
Yeah.
their rehearsals, and I think that's a big cross against it.
Yeah.
Although
That is an
musically I
interesting
did
point.
enjoy it more, but still, I don't know.
I love that it's two of my albums that are just like, which one?
Which one was?
So Jason's brought
horrendous.
us a pile of trash. Which part smells the worst?
And I'm just gonna die on the hill of, I think, Mandolin Serenade.
Yeah. Look, man,
Yeah.
that was tough.
They
That
should
was really tough.
use that to torture prisoners. Like, I mean, don't do that, but if you're gonna use that album.
Yeah, and that's not going to be the most on the same page. The three of us are the most unanimous.
No.
But that's pretty close. If it wasn't for one of the later ones, I'd say that would be the most unanimous we'd be.
Yeah.
Next category, worst album art.
Disney Skate Adventure.
Okay, so that album doesn't actually have art.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
Well,
we'd use the cover of the game for the thumbnail. Which,
Right.
again, it's not a great cover for the game. If you want to go off
well,
that.
that's kind of what I
And
was going to go
also,
off.
like,
It's
no
just-
art is also not a good
Yeah.
representation either. But then again,
It's a soundtrack for
and
it,
it's
like-
not a soundtrack sold as a CD.
Yeah.
It's just these are the songs that are in the
Yeah,
game.
it was
that
never
make the
released,
soundtrack.
as far as
I mean,
aware.
look, I'm pretty open to having my mind changed. What did you guys pick for this?
The Pornhub XXXmas album, I thought that
Yeah,
that
okay.
cover was kind of abrasive.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, the Earth was covered in that
Yeah.
album cover, and that was
I thought the Crystal Castles cover is kind of whatever. Doesn't really
Yeah.
do much for me. It's just two angsty people huddled over in front of a garage door.
yeah. I mean, I have seen worse than that, but
And I'm going to put cats in here as well because this category has the word worst in it. So I thought that cats just belonged in there.
Two of yours are similar to mine. I had the Pornhub XXXmas.
Yep,
It's not great. Cats as well, because we've got one of those Uncanny Valley cats on the cover.
yeah, true.
Oofed. Just oofed. And I think at the time I said I might have liked it. But looking back with all the other album art we've had, I'm not sold on Egg Hunt. It's really kind of irrelevant to what you're listening to, and I don't know, maybe I just don't get
it's
it.
in the title.
At least it ties into the title.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's his
but-
face.
Looking into an egg
Yeah.
carton.
They can't.
It's kind of clever.
I don't know. I'm not sold on it. But
It has more put into it than the XXXmas album.
yes, again, but that album art very much matches the surface level themes of the music.
Okay, so at what point in this
Yes.
kind of discussion do we sort of just go deep dive into these topics? Now?
Depends
Can
on
I
how
do it?
far you want to
Is
go.
now
Well,
the
no.
time?
So, okay. How relevant does the album artwork need to be to what you're actually listening to?
It depends.
That's a good point. One of my favorite albums, as you know, is Black Holes and Revelations, and I think it has an absolutely incredible cover. But I don't see how it's relevant
How it's
at
relevant,
all.
yeah. And like arguably, Days of Future Past, I feel like that album artwork doesn't really.
There's a clock.
Yeah, I guess so. Like
True,
when
true,
I
true.
saw the album cover, I didn't expect what I heard,
True.
and
I mean,
looking
the
at
theme
it,
that month was unexpected.
it was, and you know the theme for Egg Hunt, right?
Unexpected as well. Yeah. Yeah.
Sucked in.
So, like, at what point do you need to? It looked, I don't know, it looks interesting, and you're like, oh, I wonder what this is about. And is that not all an album cover needs to do?
Based on the Egg Hunt album art alone, it would not have made me listen to the album. I listened to it because of this, basically.
Yeah, because you made
Yeah.
us.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%. Actually, no, is that true? No, I looked at the album cover and I was like,
Whereas
Oh yeah. Bloop.
the other ones that I said, they wouldn't have. Like, definitively with Egg Hunt, I wouldn't have listened to it just from the album cover. The other two, I probably wouldn't have, but not as solidly not have.
yeah, but then if we're going to go with that, I could think of like Kings of Leon. What album?
Only by the Night.
Right, I kind of, that like, it was a bit of an average album cover.
Doesn't really do much.
It doesn't really do much. Like, it didn't really excite me, all that kind of stuff. So then, like, what are the parameters here for success or failure?
Yeah,
You know?
this is a very subjective thing, but based on the votes we've had, I'm going to say it comes down to you deciding between XXXmas and Cats, because Tim and I both had both of those two.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fair enough. Yeah, to wrap this up, oh, shit. Actually, that's really hard to wrap up.
Wrap it up like an XXXmas present.
Yeah, look, probably. Honest, I don't know. Cats is shocking.
It's so bad.
It's really bad. I think, yeah, it's Cats.
Okay.
Yeah.
there
It
we
won
go.
something. Woo! I did
Worst
it.
album art. Hell yes.
Our next category.
Next category. Best theme.
So our best month of the year across the
We
board.
might be a bit more
And
unanimous
the
here.
answer is, without question, prog.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would
Moving on.
Yeah, yes, I agree, but I would also like to mention I really enjoyed Unexpected,
Oh, yeah.
Op Shop Records, even though we had Mandolin Serenade, just as an experience.
Yeah, it was a very
good.
interesting one.
And Taylor Swift.
I also put Taylor Swift
I think
now.
that it was a really fun one to do
Yeah.
as well.
I had a great
He
time.
does not agree.
Even though we had to listen to Cats. I mean, we didn't have to. That's my fault.
I don't know. Taylor Swift was an interesting one as a listening experience.
Yeah.
I think the problem I had with it, I don't know whether it was a pop-related experience or just listening to one artist gets tiring. It was one of those two. So I was definitely starting to get fatigued in a So Fresh kind of way with Taylor Swift.
Fair enough.
Prog was good. That had a lot of variation.
Some great music we listened to
Great
there.
music. Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, I'm glad we're all on the same page about that.
Yay, we did it.
And the worst theme.
Yeah, worst theme is the next category.
And I think that's clearly So Fresh. That was us.
I did have So Fresh. What did Tim have?
I had So Fresh, and
Cool.
I actually put Op Shop Records down because of Mandolin Serenade. And also, you must remember that the Welsh choirs wasn't the most fantastic experience.
No, but it was definitely interesting.
Yeah, it's unique amongst what we listened to across the year.
And again,
And
I-
it had popcorn on it that month, so it's
And
pretty good.
Part of
And-
the theme, like, choosing the record was fun, and looking at the records and having that kind of...
And that's why I
That
was saying
experience.
Okay,
it
so
was in
the
my
non-musical
best.
parts of the theme were also a lot of fun. Yeah.
Because, you know, especially with that, you didn't really know what the music was going to be like until you listened to it for that first time.
Yeah.
Whereas with a lot of the other ones, you've got a bit of an idea. And also that, like, anticipation is fun of, like, what's the random thing we're going to get. Like, we've picked an album without having heard it.
Okay, So Fresh, worst theme of Vinyl Tap.
Oh, hell yeah.
Also the most popular.
Yeah.
I'm
on, yeah.
also gonna get called Scrooge for this.
Yeah.
Christmas is a theme, especially knowing that we're doing it every year.
Yeah.
Not the worst. Definitely not
You
the
were
worst.
the one that wanted to
Yeah,
do
this is
that.
your fault.
Jason. Oh my god. You
Am I a hypocrite? Yes.
Can we have December back, please? No, it's fine. I like the idea.
I mean, conceptually it makes sense,
Beebs does.
but I don't know how meta our conversation's going to be on Christmas in 3 years' time.
Yeah, we'll jump into it like 4 hours into the discussion we were having last year.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
And our last category, theme, however you want to say it, is favorite discoveries. There's obviously not a thing we all have to agree on here. Just kind of what you liked the
I think
most
we can
about the
all
year.
agree.
There is
though.
unanimous.
I mean, there's going to be one thing, but there's going to be a few other things.
Go
Yeah.
Oh my
Without
god.
a doubt, the best unexpected thing to have come out
It's
of
a
it was
hidden
Yeah.
gem. Oh
Yeah.
my god. I've
Yeah.
used that. Like I listened to it. It's become a staple.
Yeah.
It's such a banger. And it was just hidden in there.
It's really good.
It's so good.
And
the
it
only
was-
original song
And it was
on
the
that
only
album.
original song on that album, and it was clearly the best. And was it All Moog? I think it was All Moog.
Yeah.
Absolute banger.
I also enjoyed discovering Thundercat. Thank you, Paris.
Thanks, Paris.
I somehow didn't know Thundercat.
Yeah. Have you listened to much Thundercat since?
A little
Yeah.
bit.
A little bit?
probably at least like once a month since then.
Yep.
I've put it on. just to keep, touch base, see what's going on.
I think.
See if it's still there.
Yeah, see if it's still a thing I like.
What have I listened to? Pseudo Mind Hive and Days of Future
That was
Past.
a
I've
good
listened
discovery.
to a couple times since.
That's cool. You guys are all like musical. I have things here that aren't musical. I really enjoy discovering Tim's dislike, then dislike for punk.
Oh yeah.
And just the backflipping.
That's right.
It's a roller coaster that will continue for years to come.
the
I'll
character.
Yeah.
never settle down on that relationship.
And it's very fresh and recent, but your Better Never Than Late is still
That's a great-
probably like one of my favorite things that has come out of this.
Whatever.
Nice.
Nice. Better never than late. Look, you know what? I'm going to stick to that. I'm just
Yeah,
going to say that
that's
forever.
fine,
It'll
but-
be a new saying, and then everyone will be laughing at
Yeah.
you, Jason, one day.
Everyone's laughing at me now. It's fine.
Damn it.
What else
Right.
did you discover?
Oh, what else
any,
did I
Any other
discover?
discoveries?
I discovered...
I discovered a new threshold for pain in listening to Mandolin Serenade.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think as a theme, So Fresh was harder than Mandolin Serenade.
True.
because
Especially
it
that was our first online one as well.
And yeah, that's something we haven't really mentioned. We kind of got into a rhythm with online by the end of it, but to begin with, that was a bit of
It was rough.
hurdle to
Oh,
overcome.
yeah, that was fucked. That was horrible. That whole setup that I had, just as a bit of a background sneak peek, I think I had it... I have like a glass bottle full of rice as like a, I don't know, makeshift
Phone
shaker.
stand.
And I used that as my phone stand balanced on the back of my bed. And then my headphones, I had like them plugged into the computer, but then my phone was... It was really
Jason was
fucked.
constantly hearing an echo in his headphones.
Yeah.
Hearing myself speak.
Every time I had to talk, I had to hit the mute button
Yeah.
on those guys, so I couldn't hear myself talk back to me because I had a delay of
But he
about
also-
3 seconds.
Also couldn't hear us speak.
Yeah.
Beebs' input on our end was garbage. Let's just
God.
move on.
Yeah, what an
Yeah.
experience.
Good to have you back.
Yeah. No, it's been good.
So that's probably, in my mind, like the worst discovery is dealing with
Yeah.
technical side of things.
Worst discovery, a viral disease from China.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, yeah, look, 2020 was certainly an amazing year for music, but less so for life. I mean,
People.
what happened in... We had Taylor Swift. We had Thundercat. Did we do any other 2020 albums?
I don't think so. But not a lot has been released this year either.
Cats
to
was
be honest.
2019.
Yeah.
You don't
And
think a
also
lot has been
garbage.
released this year?
Comparatively, no.
People are holding out.
Yeah. Because they can't tour, they can't, or they could do merchandise, but no touring merchandise.
I guess so. No, I can think of a few artists, though, that
yeah,
have
it's-
released
it's
some...
happening, but not.
There was
to
a
the
new
same-
Killers album.
It all sort of happened in that later end, right?
Yeah.
Like in the last 2-3 months or
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
So, winner for the year, loser for the year.
Let's start with the raw
Winner.
numbers.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So the raw numbers from
Our voting
our
at the end of
voting
each
at the end of each
theme.
month kind of dictates that Habibi wins.
Woo!
However,
But both Tim and I take issue with that, given that most of his choices were very middle of the road, not kind of pushing
but
boundaries either way.
were they middle of the road?
you
For
brought
the most
Mariah
part.
Carey to Christmas.
No, okay, yeah, you're judging me on my most recent
I
pick.
sure am.
What about the Velvet Underground? That's not middle of the road. What about
You brought-
what about the
from-
Misfits?
Okay,
Walk Among Us.
that was to make sure.
Egg Hunt?
That was because neither of us had heard it.
Well,
That was what that theme was.
yeah, but maybe you'd heard it.
no, you knew for a fact that neither of
Well,
us
then
had
I
heard
was
it.
just picking well, wasn't I?
You were playing it safe.
Is that
I
playing
picked
it safe?
something that you may have
Well,
heard
that's
before.
just shit playing.
It was fun. Jason failed.
I took a gamble and failed.
Oh.
It's also fun.
Come
And then
on,
I think numbers-wise after that, Tim and I have won the same amount.
We did it.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Well,
given that Beebs has been so boring across the year, I think that Andrew
Excuse me.
won because he came on twice and won both. So
And also self-proclaimed himself as the victor.
yeah,
True.
And
That
I
is
think
potential
that
guests.
deserves respect.
Oh man, Guess
No.
probably did win this year.
shit. No, I refuse to
You just don't
leave
want
the
to
throne
admit
of
that you-
victory. No, that was I had some creative choices. Crystal Castles. That was adventurous.
It was an album that came out in 2008. It was a compilation across years, though. That was a little dicey.
It was a little dicey.
Yeah, people
But
put you
I
on the
didn't-
rocks for that,
I
like they
didn't
put
know
me
that.
on the rocks for Cats, even though we've since come to a consensus
Yeah.
that I was completely right to pick that album.
I think
No,
it
we
was
didn't
fine.
come to a
No,
consensus.
Of course
no.
we did.
No, it's-
I've
again.
come around to it.
Yeah, but that's
He-
because you're always wrong, isn't it, Jason?
Always. Ooh. You just hadn't said it as succinctly and to the point as
The
what you
theme
did
was
today.
Taylor Swift, not Taylor Swift albums.
Yeah,
So it fit the theme. It had Taylor Swift.
he's not wrong.
What if there's albums that made me think of Taylor Swift?
You could argue
You
that.
could argue
You
that.
Well,
might-
that's shit.
you might
No,
not
no.
win the argument.
No, the
No, no,
discussion
no,
was
it's
that
great.
it was Artist Month. So we
Well,
picked
no,
no, no,
Taylor
because that's,
Swift.
it wasn't Artist Month.
It's just artists.
Yeah. The theme is there to be like
I
pushed.
think you're changing history. You're extrapolating
No, I'm not.
information that
No.
This was my opinion the
there was
entire time.
contextual history to organizing that theme. We're like, we're
Yeah.
going to discuss artists, and
It would be cool to
this
discuss
month-
an artist, so let's choose Taylor Swift, but we didn't explicitly say
It's about
you can
discussing
only,
Taylor Swift.
you
It's
can-
not about her albums specifically.
At
She has so much work beyond
What
the album,
point
the studio
did
albums that she's
Cats-
released.
illicit discussion about Taylor Swift.
We talked about her in that
Oh,
episode.
shit, yeah, well. Yeah, look. Well, based on that, then Tim wins.
Oh, okay, cool.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I did it.
I can't argue with that. I had a lot of
Cop that, Andy.
continual choosing things,
Yeah.
but not being
I
good.
think Jason
Yeah.
was the bravest of
Jason
the bunch.
was the bravest.
He brought Mandolin
I
Serenade.
think I'm the
and
only one that lost because of I didn't meet the theme criteria. I went into
You
11 Paranoias like vaguely knowing what it would be.
You made my ears bleed.
What
Yeah.
else was bad? I feel like I had another one. That wasn't.
The Pornhub.
Triple
Yeah.
Xmas album.
Yeah, look, it's
He also
one of
brought a
those,
pseudo Mind Hive though, and that was really good. And the
was
Perils
really
of
good.
Time Travel,
Yeah, like
fantastic
it's-
albums.
Highs and lows.
And
It's
folklore.
kind of like it's not about hey I'm gonna pick something we're gonna enjoy.
It's about
For
discussing
me, it's
music.
about picking interesting things that are gonna be
no, I'm here.
fun to talk
I'm
about.
here to enjoy the
It's about the
experience.
competition. I'm here to win
No.
Vinyl Tap.
I mean, look, after Mandolin Serenade, I really just made a choice to myself. I was like, okay, enjoy this experience, because never again.
We did So Fresh straight after that.
But we had a great time digging into it.
Yeah.
We had so much. We
I also,
bonded over that
also
experience.
in the month of consistently bad, I won So Fresh, so you know put that out there.
So you're really good at picking trash albums.
Yes.
That's it. That's the end.
I am the guy with the bad music taste in the show.
Well, thank you for joining us on this year of Vinyl Tap.
And if you haven't,
Tough luck.
yeah.
Tough luck. I mean, look, if you're listening to our backlog, and it's now, 2021, 2022,
We're
welcome.
sorry.
We've kind of refined our show as it's gotten to this point, and from here on out, it's going to just constantly be different.
Yeah. No more Jason, just Timothy. Uncut from the next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when we need shit albums, we'll give you a ring.